Why would they try to not do something like that? Look at everything that Harry has done.
The high grove sitting rooms, the wedding photograph that has lived on that side table for almost 80 years, Harry and Meghan on the steps of St. George's Chapel in 2018, was gone.
One photo. That's seriously all it took. A single royal birthday picture suddenly shattered the polished image of Prince Harry's California life right in front of everyone. Princess Charlotte stood smiling confidently for the camera, but online, the reaction exploded fast. People started whispering about heartbreak, regret, pressure, and emotional strain inside the Montecito mansion.
Yeah, I mean, come on. They are able to erase you. That's what they do, erase you from history, erase you from, looking like you're still a part of the family. Absolutely, they did that intentionally because they're sending a message.
Already surrounded by nonstop rumors and tension. Now, the internet is asking a brutal question nobody expected years ago. Did Prince Harry give up everything for nothing? King Charles reportedly removed a photograph from his home without saying a single word, and that silence spoke volumes. Reports claim Harry was deeply shaken after seeing the birthday picture. Boeing reportedly stepped away from what many believed was one of his final major business connections.
The royals have no voice. This is the one way they have a voice, is through these symbols. And, taking away a photo allows them to show, how they feel about something. I mean, of course, if you don't really have a way to come out and refute or rebut.
And behind the gates of that Montecito mansion, people believe something dramatic is unfolding fast. The timing of this whole situation feels almost unreal, like something out of a royal drama nobody can stop watching. Princess Charlotte celebrates her 11th birthday, and the palace quietly releases one carefully polished photo. No flashy statement, no dramatic speech, just a simple image that instantly took over headlines everywhere. Soft lighting, a calm smile, confidence, tradition, stability. The kind of picture that sends a message without saying a single word. People online immediately started calling it future queen energy, and the reactions spread fast across social media and British tabloids.
It is no longer there. In its place, two new framed pictures. One of Harry alongside his father and his older brother, taken back when the three of them still pose for photographs together.
But while the royal family appeared calm and united in public, reports started pouring out from insiders claiming Prince Harry was having a deeply emotional reaction all the way over in California. Not rage, not frustration, not bitterness. The word reportedly being repeated behind palace circles was sad. Some reports even described him as devastated and heartbroken after seeing the image and everything it represented. According to the whispers coming out this week, the photo may have forced Harry to confront something painful. Archie and Lily are reportedly growing up far away from the royal world, while Charlotte, George, and Louis are living the exact kind of royal childhood Harry himself once experienced before walking away from it all. The contrast suddenly became impossible for people to ignore, and now the internet is tearing apart every detail, trying to figure out what Harry may truly be feeling behind closed doors. But here's the problem. A huge part of the internet is no longer buying the emotional narrative being pushed around this situation because people remember absolutely everything. They remember every interview, every headline, every public accusation, and every explosive moment that turned royal family tension into worldwide entertainment.
And one of King Charles cradling a small blonde Prince Louis in his arms.
Social media users immediately started digging up old clips and quotes the second these new reports surfaced. People remember the Freedom Flight comments and the public victory smiles after leaving royal duties behind. They remember the Oprah interview that sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and dominated global headlines for weeks. They remember Spare, where deeply private family moments were turned into public stories right across the world. And most of all, they remember Prince Harry openly criticizing the same institution that he now reportedly seems emotional about being separated from. That's the contradiction many people online can't stop talking about. For years, the royal system was described publicly as unhealthy, restrictive, and emotionally damaging. But now, according to the latest reports and reactions, that same environment suddenly appears to represent stability, family connection, tradition, and belonging. Especially when people look at Charlotte, George, and Lua growing up together in public view.
I can even push that reporting even further. Radar did an incredible job. I love the folks over there at Radar. What I'm told is they're pretty much now living separate lives. He has her friends, he has his friends. They pretty much now are living, they don't share anything in common. They don't really have any common interests apart from the Sussex brand.
Royal watchers are saying Princess Charlotte's birthday photograph may have accidentally exposed something far bigger than anyone expected. Behind the polished Montecito image, critics believe there's a growing contrast between visibility and privacy, between global celebrity and genuine family roots, between building a new life and feeling disconnected from the old one. And once those comparisons exploded online, the conversation became impossible to control. Within minutes, the internet was flooded with theories, reactions, and debates about whether Prince Harry is privately struggling with the reality of everything he walked away from. Now, Harry's camp reportedly wants the public to focus on one specific emotion above everything else: sadness. That's the word suddenly appearing everywhere in royal coverage this week. Sad, devastated, emotional, reflective. According to reports shared by royal journalist Richard Eden, people close to Prince Harry claimed that seeing Princess Charlotte's birthday photo spread across newspapers and social media in Britain hit him hard emotionally. And once those stories started circulating, the internet immediately locked onto another detail that made the entire situation even more dramatic. Almost at the exact same time, Charlotte's polished royal portrait was dominating headlines. Meghan's birthday post for Archie appeared online.
And he's Mr. Mom. He's with the kids a lot. She is too. But I'm told now that their interests were never aligned, but they tried to figure out things that they could do together.
And people instantly began comparing the two images side by side. That's when the online debate exploded even more. Princess Charlotte looked directly into the camera with confidence and ease, standing comfortably in the spotlight as part of the royal family's carefully managed public image. But in Meghan's post, Archie's face was turned away from the camera entirely. Social media users immediately noticed the contrast and started flooding comment sections with theories and speculation about privacy, image control, and the different worlds these children are growing up in. Then came another detail people couldn't stop talking about. The first image Meghan shared reportedly wasn't even a recent photo. Instead, it was a picture of a picture taken years earlier in 2019. Prince Harry asleep with baby Archie resting on his chest. Soft, emotional, nostalgic, and deeply personal. Critics and royal watchers quickly pointed out that the image felt less like a current family update and more like a carefully chosen memory from a completely different chapter of their lives. Online discussions exploded with claims that the post carried a strangely distant feeling, almost like the Sussex brand was leaning heavily on old memories, while the royal family continued creating new public moments in real time.
You hear different things from different people, but that is one of the things that you hear, is that there is tension over the children. And, she's, it's almost like, it's like grandmother's footsteps, that old parlor game where you turn round and someone takes a couple of steps forward and then you try and catch them moving.
Then came the second image, and that's when the online conversation went into overdrive. Meghan reportedly shared another photo showing Archie and Lily walking beside the shoreline, both turned completely away from the camera with their backs facing the public once again. No faces visible, no direct connection with the audience, just another carefully controlled glimpse into their private world. And almost instantly, people noticed a pattern that they couldn't stop talking about. This marked the second year in a row that Archie's birthday image avoided showing his face directly. Last year, the public got a silhouette-style photo. This year, it was a distant beach scene that many online described as cinematic, mysterious, and emotionally detached all at the same time. Social media exploded with debates about privacy, branding, and whether the Sussexes are intentionally creating distance between their children and public attention. Critics especially focused on the sharp contrast between those images and the highly polished royal portraits released by the Wales family. While Charlotte, George, and Louis appear confidently front and center in official birthday photos, viewed by millions around the world, Archie and Lily continue appearing mostly from behind or from a distance.
Disastrous for Harry. Harry's Invictus nightmare. With the Netflix broadcasting contract up in smoke, with Harry's rate for speaking engagements having gone from $1 million per appearance to $50,000, with the horrible fake royal trip to Australia having been a public relations dumpster fire,
that difference instantly became one of the biggest talking points online. And once people started comparing the two approaches side by side, an even more uncomfortable question began spreading across social media, comment sections, and royal discussion forums. If Prince Harry reportedly misses parts of royal life this deeply, then why was the separation handled in such a public and aggressive way in the first place? That question is now hanging over every new headline surrounding the Sussexes. Critics argue that Harry spent years publicly attacking the institution, the media structure around it, and even personal family relationships, only for reports to now suggest he feels emotional watching his relatives continue the exact life he walked away from. Supporters say he simply wanted freedom and privacy for his family. But online, the debate has become intense, messy, and impossible to avoid. The reaction online turned brutal almost immediately. Comment sections, royal forums, and social media feeds were suddenly flooded, with sharp opinions from people who clearly weren't buying the sadness narrative anymore. One comment in particular exploded everywhere because it captured exactly what many critics were already thinking. He isn't sad, he's jealous. That single sentence spread fast across the internet and became one of the biggest talking points surrounding the entire controversy. A growing number of people now believe Prince Harry genuinely thought his post-royal life in California would become even bigger, more powerful, and more admired than the monarchy itself. Critics argue that he believed Hollywood influence could replace royal influence, and that celebrity culture would give him everything he felt he lacked inside palace walls: endless attention, endless praise, endless opportunities, endless freedom. The image of a modern global power couple completely untouchable by royal tradition. And for a while, it honestly looked like that plan might work. The Sussex brand exploded across headlines almost overnight. There were private jet trips, luxury appearances, massive media contracts, and non-stop international attention. Netflix reportedly signed huge deals with them. Spotify partnerships placed them at the center of celebrity podcast culture. Speaking engagements reportedly brought in enormous fees. Their interviews dominated global news cycles for weeks at a time. Then, there were the celebrity connections that made the entire California transition seem unstoppable. Oprah's support became one of the defining moments of their media rise.
the only positive in Harry's life is Invictus, and yet it now faces the biggest crisis in its history. And be clear, a crisis for Invictus is a crisis for Harry.
Hollywood elites welcomed them into powerful social circles. Magazine covers presented them as influential global figures, shaping the future of celebrity activism and modern fame. Political figures, billionaires, media executives, and Silicon Valley investors reportedly viewed the Sussex name as a massive brand with almost unlimited potential. At the height of it all, many people genuinely believed Harry and Meghan were building an empire capable of rivaling the royal family's global attention. But now, years later, the mood surrounding that image feels very different, and critics online are starting to question whether the dream Prince Harry chased in California delivered what he expected at all. But then, little by little, the shine around the Sussex brand reportedly started fading, and people online noticed every single step of it. The celebrity world that once seemed completely obsessed with Harry and Meghan slowly began moving on to the next trend, the next headline, the next power couple. And in Hollywood, that shift can happen fast. Observers started pointing out how certain high-profile connections no longer appeared as publicly visible as they once were. Big names that were constantly linked to the Sussex Circle suddenly faded from headlines. The non-stop media excitement surrounding every appearance started cooling down. Major deals that once looked unstoppable began facing public scrutiny and criticism. Spotify ended its partnership. Other projects reportedly struggled to maintain the same momentum and hype they once had. The energy around the California royal era no longer felt untouchable. Critics say this may have been the moment reality truly started hitting Prince Harry emotionally. Because unlike celebrity fame, royal identity doesn't disappear when trends change. Royal status carries history, symbolism, tradition, and public fascination built across generations. Celebrity culture, on the other hand, can be temporary and brutally transactional. One minute Hollywood celebrates you, and the next it's chasing somebody newer, louder, or more profitable. According to royal commentators and online discussions, Harry may have slowly realized he traded something permanent for something unstable. He walked away from one of the oldest institutions in the world and entered an industry built on popularity cycles, public image, and constant reinvention. And now, as royal birthday portraits continue spreading across the internet, showing George, Charlotte, and Louis growing up inside that world, many people believe Harry is watching it all unfold from the outside looking in. That's why public sympathy appears to be fading in some corners online. Critics are resurfacing old interviews and public statements, where Harry openly accused members of the royal family and the institution itself of racism, emotional neglect, cruelty, and damaging behavior during globally televised appearances. So now, when reports suddenly describe him as heartbroken over lost family connections, many people are responding with skepticism instead of sympathy. The internet has turned this into a harsh debate about consequences, regret, and whether Prince Harry underestimated what leaving the royal family would eventually cost him, emotionally and publicly. The contradiction surrounding Prince Harry is becoming harder for people to ignore. The same man who once publicly described leaving royal life as an escape from emotional pressure and restriction.
So the brilliant News Nation journalist and reporter Paula Froelich, who's been a thorn in the Duke's side with her powerful investigations, has revealed that a big-name sponsor is now pulling out of the event. You've heard me right. Boeing, one of the biggest companies in the world, are done.
Is now reportedly devastated over the idea that Archie may never experience that same royal upbringing. And online, critics are tearing that contradiction apart from every possible angle. Many people are now saying the emotional narrative coming from Harry's side no longer matches the confident image he projected during those explosive interviews years ago. Back then, leaving royal duties was presented as freedom, a fresh start, a chance to break away from a system that Harry openly criticized in public. But now, reports suggesting he feels heartbroken watching royal family milestones from California are creating a completely different picture, one filled with nostalgia, regret, and emotional distance from the life he once seemed eager to leave behind. That tension is now following every headline connected to him. Then, this week, the story took an even more dramatic turn, because while reports claimed Harry was emotionally struggling over Princess Charlotte's birthday photo, King Charles reportedly delivered what many royal watchers are calling a silent message of his own from inside Highgrove House. No public statement, no interview, no official announcement from Buckingham Palace. Just one tiny detail quietly spotted in the background of an Instagram story uploaded by royal photographer Chris Jackson. But royal observers know something important. Inside monarchy culture, the smallest visual details often carry the loudest meaning. The internet immediately exploded when eagle-eyed viewers noticed that a framed wedding photo of Harry and Meghan reportedly no longer appeared on the famous side table at Highgrove, where it had supposedly been displayed for years. People online quickly compared older images and screenshots, and suddenly, the missing photograph became a massive story all by itself. Even more attention came when viewers noticed what appeared to replace it. Instead of the Sussex wedding image, reports claimed there were now 2 different photographs displayed prominently. One reportedly showed happier family moments between King Charles, Prince William, and Prince Harry from before the royal fallout became public. The other featured Charles holding young Prince Louis, an image many interpreted as representing continuity, legacy, and the future of the monarchy. For royal insiders and longtime monarchy followers, the symbolism felt impossible to ignore. In royal culture, photographs are not random decorations. They are often carefully placed signals about relationships, priorities, loyalty, memory, and public image. That's why this tiny background detail instantly triggered huge speculation online. Many viewers interpreted it as a quiet but powerful indication of where King Charles's focus now firmly sits, with the working royal family members still at the center of the institution's future. The royal family has always communicated differently from celebrities, politicians, or Hollywood stars. They rarely explain themselves directly, and that's exactly why every tiny detail surrounding them gets analyzed so intensely. In royal culture, visuals matter. Placement matters. Timing matters. Silence matters even more. They don't jump onto podcasts to defend themselves. They don't post emotional social media rants. They don't publicly argue back and forth online. Instead, they let symbolism speak for them. And according to many royal watchers, King Charles may have just delivered one of the coldest symbolic messages yet. People immediately noticed the timing surrounding the missing photograph story. The Sussex wedding picture reportedly disappeared from Highgrove during Archie's birthday week, right as Britain was also marking the anniversary of King Charles's coronation. Then came Meghan's beachside birthday images, showing Archie and Lily facing away from the camera. All those moments stacked together at once created a wave of speculation that spread across tabloids, YouTube channels, royal forums, and social media almost overnight. To critics and longtime monarchy observers, the sequence felt extremely deliberate. Suddenly, people started saying openly what had previously only been whispered in online discussions. Prince Harry may be getting slowly pushed further and further.
They are out. They've checked out of the project. Now, one's got to conclude that they're furious and don't want to be associated with the toxic Sussex brand.
Outside the emotional center of the royal family. Not through explosive public statements, not through dramatic confrontations, not through official announcements. Quietly, symbolically. One photograph at a time. One public appearance at a time. One missing detail at a time. And what many people find most unsettling is that the palace never has to explain any of it. Buckingham Palace rarely comments on speculation unless absolutely necessary, which means silence itself often becomes part of the message. Royal insiders have long claimed that emotional distance inside the monarchy is sometimes shown not through conflict, but through calm detachment. According to that interpretation, the moment the institution stops reacting publicly to controversy altogether is often when the real separation begins. That idea has only added more intensity to the online conversation surrounding Harry this week. Because while the public focuses on birthday photographs and missing frames, another wave of rumors has started spreading across British tabloids, and this one may be even more dramatic. Reports are now claiming Harry and Meghan could be living increasingly separate lives inside their Montecito estate. According to the speculation, the couple reportedly operates on different schedules, spends time with different social circles, focuses on separate professional priorities, and increasingly moves through completely different worlds despite sharing the same home. Some reports describe a growing emotional distance behind the scenes, while others suggest the pressure surrounding their public image and business projects may be creating tension privately. None of these claims have been officially confirmed, but that hasn't stopped the rumors from exploding online. Critics, supporters, and royal commentators are now dissecting every public appearance, every missing detail, and every carefully chosen photograph, searching for clues about what may really be happening behind the gates of Montecito. According to longtime entertainment reporter Rob Shooter, insiders are allegedly describing Harry and Meghan's relationship now in a way that instantly shocked social media. The phrase being repeated was reportedly that the marriage feels more like a brand merger than a traditional relationship. And the second that quote started spreading online, the internet exploded with reactions. People immediately connected that description to the growing list of rumors, setbacks, and public image problems surrounding the Sussexes over the past few years. Critics began arguing that nearly every major pillar that once made Harry and Meghan appear unstoppable now seems weaker than before. The royal connection appears increasingly distant. Hollywood relationships no longer dominate headlines the way they once did. Big corporate partnerships have faced challenges or ended entirely. And public sympathy, especially online, has become far more divided and unpredictable. For many royal watchers, the contrast feels dramatic. Prince Harry was once viewed as one of the most recognizable and influential members of the royal family, carrying global attention, institutional purpose, military connections, charity work, and enormous public goodwill across the Commonwealth. Now, critics claim he appears emotionally disconnected from both worlds, no longer fully inside the monarchy, but also no longer commanding the same excitement inside celebrity culture either. And then came what some people are calling the most painful blow yet: growing concerns surrounding the Invictus Games. For years, Invictus has been seen as the project closest to Harry's heart, the one initiative that consistently gave him purpose, credibility, and positive public respect outside royal life. Even critics who disagreed with his interviews or media strategy often acknowledged the importance of his work supporting wounded veterans through the Games. That's why the latest headlines reportedly involving Boeing sent such a shockwave through royal and entertainment media circles. Because this wasn't viewed as just another celebrity friendship quietly fading away in Hollywood. According to online commentary and tabloid reactions, many people saw it as something much bigger, a sign that one of the final major pillars supporting Harry's independent public identity may also be facing uncertainty. By this point, critics say several other pieces of the California dream had already started cracking apart publicly. The Spotify fallout became a massive headline. Questions around Netflix projects created growing skepticism about long-term influence in entertainment. Public appearances that once generated excitement and fascination reportedly began receiving a colder reception online, with some commentators arguing the mood shifted from admiration to awkward curiosity. And through all of it, Harry's connection to Invictus remained one of the few things many people believed still carried authenticity, loyalty, and emotional meaning for him. That's why the latest rumors have intensified concern about where his public role goes next. Online discussions are now filled with debates about whether Prince Harry is facing a deeper identity crisis.
Even push that reporting even further. Radar did an incredible job. I love the folks over there at Radar. What I'm told is they're pretty much now living separate lives. He has her friends, he has his friends. They pretty much now are living, they don't share anything in common. They don't really have any common interests apart from the Sussex brand.
Caught between a royal life he left behind and a celebrity world that may no longer provide the same protection, influence, or admiration it once did. But Invictus was supposed to be different. That was the one thing people believed could survive every controversy, every headline, every royal fallout, and every Hollywood disaster. Even many critics who questioned Harry's public choices still respected the mission behind the Invictus Games and the impact it had on wounded veterans around the world. It was widely viewed as the strongest and most meaningful part of his public identity outside the monarchy. That's why the latest reports surrounding Boeing created such a massive reaction online. When news spread that the partnership had reportedly ended, people didn't just see another sponsor quietly stepping away. To many royal commentators and media observers, it looked far more serious than that. They saw one of the world's largest corporations seemingly deciding that continued association with the Sussex brand no longer made strategic sense. And that interpretation sent shockwaves through royal discussion circles this week. because Boeing is not some struggling company counting every dollar. People online immediately pointed out that a sponsorship connected to Invictus would likely represent a tiny financial commitment compared to the company's overall resources. That's what made the reported split feel so unusual to critics. A partnership once described publicly as important and long-term reportedly fading, after only a relatively short period, instantly triggered questions about what may have changed behind the scenes. Royal watchers especially focused on the symbolic meaning of it all. In royal culture, perception matters enormously. Every partnership, public appearance, photograph, and institutional connection sends a message whether anyone says it directly or not. And many commentators argued that this latest development added to the growing perception that major institutions may be becoming more cautious around the Sussex brand. That's also where many Americans and British royal followers often see the monarchy very differently. In Hollywood culture, public conflict usually plays out loudly through interviews, podcasts, documentaries, and social media battles. But inside the monarchy, power is often expressed through distance instead of confrontation. They rarely engage emotionally in public. Instead, critics say the institution slowly creates separation through silence, reduced visibility, fewer symbolic connections, and less inclusion in important royal moments. According to royal insiders and commentators, Prince Harry may now be experiencing what that kind of institutional distance truly feels like. Not dramatic exile, not explosive public rejection. Something colder and quieter. Invitations become uncertain. Symbolic gestures disappear. Public focus shifts elsewhere. And eventually, the absence itself starts telling the story. But just when the online discussion around Harry already seemed intense enough, the situation reportedly took another darker turn entirely. While royal watchers were still dissecting Charlotte's photograph, the missing Highgrove frame, and the Invictus fallout, another controversy suddenly exploded involving Prince Andrew, and it immediately pulled attention toward a much more serious issue surrounding royal security and public hostility. Reports coming out of Norfolk described growing concerns connected to Andrew and the atmosphere surrounding disgraced royal figures living under constant scrutiny. Online discussions quickly began linking the situation back to broader fears about public anger, institutional protection, and how certain royal scandals continue creating ripple effects across the monarchy itself. Suddenly, people were no longer just debating emotional regret or fading celebrity influence.
And she's doing that on Instagram, isn't she? So you've got Lily from this angle, then you've got Archie from this angle. And you think, well, sooner or later, it's just by degrees, isn't it?
The conversation was shifting towards something far more unsettling. The risks, tensions, and dangers that come when once powerful royal figures lose public trust, but remain permanently tied to the institution anyway. The details of the incident sounded almost like a scene from a movie. A dark country road near Sandringham. Evening settling in, Prince Andrew reportedly out walking the late Queen's corgis, with a protection officer close by. Then, suddenly, according to reports, a masked man allegedly stepped out from a parked vehicle, shouting aggressively while moving toward him. Andrew reportedly left the area quickly by car as police rushed to respond. And within hours, Britain was completely divided over the story. One side argued that no public figure deserves threats, intimidation, or violence, no matter how controversial they are. Others reacted far more coldly online, saying, "He made his choices." That harsh split exposed something much deeper happening across public discussions this week. More and more people believe royal scandals are entering dangerous territory, where public anger, conspiracy theories, and real-world security fears are starting to collide. Prince Andrew's links to the Epstein scandal already made him one of the most controversial figures connected to the monarchy. Harry has become one of the most divisive royals of the modern era, while Meghan continues to spark fierce debate on both sides of the Atlantic. And with every new headline, the obsession surrounding the royal family only seems to grow more intense. Meanwhile, the palace remains completely silent through all of it. No emotional statements, no dramatic reactions, just silence. And to many royal watchers, that silence is starting to feel unsettling. The monarchy no longer looks shocked or defensive. It looks exhausted, like an old institution quietly shutting off damaged sections and moving forward no matter who gets left behind along the way. That may be the real tragedy underneath this entire story. Years ago, Prince Harry reportedly believed leaving the monarchy would finally give him full control over his life and public image. Freedom, peace, privacy, happiness. The dream was supposed to be a fresh start, far away from royal pressure and endless palace rules. A modern fairy tale ending built on independence and personal choice. But instead, critics say he became trapped inside a non-stop cycle of contradictions that keeps following him everywhere. He asks for privacy while continuing to share deeply personal stories publicly. He criticizes royal life while reportedly feeling emotional, watching it continue without him. He attacks the institution, yet still keeps the titles and royal identity connected to it. And despite leaving for freedom, reports increasingly describe him as isolated and disconnected in California. That's why every new headline now seems to make the situation look even more complicated instead of bringing closure. That is why this week felt different. Not louder, colder, more distant, more final. Somehow, a simple smiling birthday photograph of Princess Charlotte turned into a symbol of everything Prince Harry may feel he lost, everything he walked away from, and possibly everything he can never fully get back again. At the same time, King Charles quietly removing a single framed wedding photo from a side table inside Highgrove may have revealed more about the real state of this family than any public interview ever could. No emotional speeches, no dramatic royal showdown. Just silent signals everywhere, photographs disappearing, sponsors stepping away, Hollywood attention fading, and a prince sitting thousands of miles from home reportedly realizing that some doors become very difficult to reopen once the damage turns public. And the hardest truth hanging over this entire saga may be the one nobody around the Sussex camp wants to say openly. The monarchy survived Harry's departure far more easily than Harry seems to have survived leaving the monarchy. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the royal drama, because this story is clearly far from over.